We all worry about cybersecurity. We try to do everything right. We make these crazy complex passwords, we turn on multi-factor authentication, we install all the software, and yet the problem just seems to get worse, doesn't it? So let's get into why that is and explore a really different way of thinking about our digital safety. And this is the big question we're tackling today. What if all our efforts aren't working because we're not just using the wrong weapons? What if we're fighting on the wrong battlefield entirely?
Okay, first we need to understand a huge contradiction that's at the heart of the security world right now. It's a paradox that explains why we feel less safe even as our technology is supposedly getting better and better.
I mean, just look at this number. It's pretty shocking. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars globally on security, and still, ransomware attacks literally doubled in just 1 year. This isn't just a small leak in the boat is sinking. It's proof that our current strategy of just building higher and higher walls around our data, well, it's failing. And this really gets to the core of the problem. On one hand, we're incredible at building digital fortresses. We use military-grade encryption to scramble our data into gibberish. But here's the catch. All of that amazing protection hinges on the keys, our passwords, our credentials, the very things that are easiest to steal. It's like building an impenetrable bank vault and then leaving the key under the welcome mat. So this whole paradox, this endless cycle of building a stronger lock only for someone to steal the key, it led one company, Blocksmith, to just start over, to come up with a completely different philosophy for security. And boom, there it is. This is the radical shift in thinking. Instead of obsessing over how to keep the bad guys out, Blocksmith's entire philosophy begins by admitting something pretty scary. Breaches are going to happen. They start from the absolute worst-case scenario, that the attackers are already inside. And this leads to a whole new concept they've pioneered called post-breach resilience. The idea is actually pretty simple. If you can't stop a thief from breaking into your house, just make sure there's absolutely nothing valuable for them to steal. It's all about making sure that even if data is stolen, it's completely useless to the attackers. The goal is to give it what they call meaningless breach value. So how in the world do you actually build something like that? How do you design a system where a hacker can successfully break in and find nothing? Well, it all comes down to one powerful idea. The principle is right here. Nothing stored, nothing to steal. Think about it. The only way to 100% guarantee that valuables can't be stolen from a safe is to not have a safe in the first place. Blocksmith's technology is designed from the ground up to be vaultless, keyless, and hashless. It just doesn't keep the stuff hackers are hunting for. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. See, legacy systems are all about storage. They store your password, or at least a hash of it. They store encryption keys in a digital vault. And all of that creates this giant, juicy target for hackers, a centralized treasure chest. The Blocksmith way? It just gets rid of the treasure chest. Instead of storing keys, it creates them on the fly, just for a single session. And then poof, they vanish. No vault, no treasure, nothing to aim for. And this is really the bottom line, isn't it? This is the outcome. After a breach of a traditional system, hackers hit the jackpot. They walk away with a pile of passwords and keys they can sell or use themselves. After a breach in a Blocksmith system, the hackers find themselves in an empty room. There's literally nothing there for them to take. Okay, so the tech is obviously a game changer, but what does this actually mean for us, for everyday people? Because really great innovation doesn't just make things more secure, it makes them better and, frankly, easier to use. We've all felt this, right? The endless list of rules. Must has an uppercase, a lowercase, a number, a special character, can't be a password you've used in the last year. Ugh, security so often feels like a punishment, just a bunch of annoying chores. But what if it could actually feel empowering? And this is where their Your Unbreakable Password System, or YOUP, comes in. It totally flips the whole idea of a password on its head. You can forget all those rigid rules. You can use long, memorable phrases. You can use other languages. You can even use emojis. But here's the real magic. Your password is never actually stored anywhere. Instead, it gets combined with your unique typing rhythm, your own personal biometric signature. So even if a hacker is literally watching you type, they can't copy you. The password becomes a secret that only you can wield. So what does this all add up to? If we start to adopt this new way of thinking, this shift from trying to prevent every attack to just being resilient, what does our digital future start to look like? Just imagine that for a second. A world where you are fundamentally safe online, but you almost never have to think about it. No more constant password resets, no more annoying security pop-ups, and no more living with that low-grade anxiety just waiting for the next email telling you your data has been stolen again. And that really is the biggest takeaway here. The old way of doing things is just an endless arms race. We build a 10-foot wall, so attackers build an 11-foot ladder. We build a 12-foot wall. You see where this is going. It's a game we can't win. This new way of thinking, this post-breach resilience, it changes the rules of the game completely. It's about creating a world where breaking in becomes pointless because there's simply nothing left to steal.